In this video, we're going to be custom making a bunch of minifigures that LEGO hasn't made. From characters like Spectral Jay to Bonzle, we have it all. Let's get to it. My library recently got a micro 3D printer, which is specifically made to print small objects like LEGO bricks. Now, I've tried printing LEGO parts with a regular 3D printer before, and yeah, they came out looking like this. All warped, bumpy, and not very detailed. So I was very curious to see if this micro 3D printer could handle the job better. The first piece I wanted to try, a kind of test run, was Arins maskless armor from Dragons Rising Season 3. Back in Season 1, we were introduced to this armor piece, and while it is a great design, the mask was molded onto the armor piece, which made it impossible to recreate a show-accurate version of Arin without physically cutting the piece. And let's be honest, I'm not great at slicing tiny plastic pieces, so I'd probably mess it up anyway. So instead, I hopped into Blender, removed the mask part digitally, and printed just the armor. And after one try, the print came out pretty solid. It looks close to the show version, and even the katana holder on the back works well. It's not perfect, the surface is a little bumpy, but compared to my last attempt, it is a major upgrade. Oh, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, the newly upgraded Brick Separator Man will come in and destroy all your LEGO sets. So actually, we're trying to hit 20k, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. With Arins Armor done, I want to move on to a figure LEGO still hasn't properly made, Frak. Now you might be like, what do you mean, Colito? Frak has been in the LEGO Ninjago set. In fact, he was in the combat vehicle from this year, but that is not the Frak I want. Frak became a pretty important character in Dragons Rising. He worked under Roz during the Tournament of Sources, realized Roz was evil, ditched him, and joined the ninja. In Season 3 Part 1, he helped find the prismatic blades and is now training under Kai and Cole. And for Season 3 Part 2, LEGO gave us this weird Ninja Turtle looking suit, which isn't terrible, but definitely not the minifigure I want to have. So for this minifigure, I want to print two things: his head and the armor he wore in Season 2 during the Tournament of Sources. I modeled both in Blender and sent them to print. Unfortunately, the first version didn't really work. When I tried to put the Frak head on the torso without the armor, it wouldn't fit. The neck hole which wasn't big enough to go over the torso peg, and if it doesn't fit, it's not really a usable piece. So I went back in Blender, made the bottom of the headpiece wider, moved Frak's mouth and facial features a little higher up, and printed it again. This time, it actually worked. The head fits on the torso with just a tiny gap, but honestly, that space is kind of nice. It lets you turn the head more freely, which makes the figure more playable. Now that both pieces are done, here's how the final Frak minifigure looks after some finishing touches. I'm super happy to finally have the minifigure after having him in the show for roughly an year now. A normal Frak was needed. Have you ever wanted a UCS Ninjago monastery with accurate rooms inside it? Well, guess what? I have the perfect solution for you. I just put up my UCS monastery on LEGO Ideas, and I need your support to make it a real LEGO set. So in order to vote, go to the link in the description or bit.ly/Ninjago monastery. Go ahead and create an account. It takes only 30 seconds and you got a support. A whopping 3,000 people have supported in just a few days time. Your support matters too. Make sure to share it with friends and get it out there. Let's show LEGO how big the Ninjago community is. In Dragons Rising Season 3 Part 1, Sora didn't get a new suit. Instead, she got her old one back with this weird gold and white gimmick mask that didn't match anything from the show and didn't even look like her other ninja outfits. Now, yeah, Sora never actually got a storm suit in the show, but I still think a storm suit Sora minifigure would be really cool. And since LEGO never made one, it's up to us to fix that. So I started off by taking advantage of my 3D printer. I tried printing a Sora hairpiece and a Sora hood piece. Problem is, neither of them worked. The hood didn't even fit, even after I cracked it slightly to try and force it on. And the hairpiece, same issue. The connector holes were just too small to clip onto any stud, which kinda sucks, because it means both parts were basically a failure. But we move on. Since the custom parts weren't working, I decided to use the existing Sora helmet mold and built around that. First thing I did was do a custom torso design. I printed out one on paper and stuck it onto the original minifigure. And honestly, that alone already made her look like a legit Storm Sora. Then I added the gimmick mask and the armor piece from her original suit, touched up the colors a little bit, and boom, we got ourselves a Storm Sora minifigure. I painted her mask piece digitally since I don't actually have the pink paint, but this is how it would look. Now, while we're on the topic of armor pieces, in the summer 2025 wave, LEGO gave the ninja new armor, but it had the same issue as the 2023 wave. The face mask is attached directly to the armor and you can't remove it, which makes it super inaccurate to the show. But unlike Arins Armor, these are dual molded, which makes it harder to replicate. Dual molding means that there are two distinct colors fused into that one piece, and my printer can only print in one color at a time. Yet I still decide to print two versions, one with the mask and one without it, both in a single color, and I decided to simply paint on the other color. And surprisingly, they turned out pretty clean. These match the show pretty well, especially with their full spectral design. I love the dragon head mold on one side and the golden bamboo pattern on the other, and I cannot wait to paint these. After the climber suits, Jay kinda stopped getting proper ninja suits. At the start of Dragon's Rising, he lost his memory and wasn't part of the ninja team anymore, and well, technically he still isn't. While he was working in the administration, instead of getting an Administration Jay minifigure, LEGO gave us some interesting choices: a merge suit Jay, and then in 2024, a mech pilot suit Jay and a climber Jay. None of these were canon, but honestly, I quite like them. A blue ninja just always looks cool, and the color combos on those Jay suits were awesome. But once Jay left the administration and turned evil thanks to Roz, he finally got a brand new suit, Evil Jay, and this minifigure was absolutely awesome. And well, instead of getting another non-canon suit for the tournament wave, LEGO just gave us this Evil Jay minifigure, and it's honestly one of the best Ninjago minifigures ever. Like, whoever designed this needs a raise. This suit is straight up peak. Still, even with all these versions, we never got a Tournament Jay minifigure, and in the show, Jay never got a Storm or Spectral suit either. So I decided to make my own non-canon Spectral Jay, just because I thought it would look absolutely amazing. I started by 3D printing a custom armor piece for him, and yeah, a bunch of you guys joke that it looks like cereal, but honestly, for a 3D print, I think it turned out pretty decent. Then I painted the hood piece to match, printed out a custom torso design, cut it out, slapped it on the minifig, and here is the final result. It is definitely not perfect, but I think it still looks really cool, and I'm glad I made it. So for a little better look at the Spectral Jay minifigure, I used the DRS1J legs, and then this is the full figure. You can see the armor is kind of messy, and yeah, that's because it's a 3D print, and the paint didn't go on the best, but all in all, I don't think it's bad for a custom minifigure. If you like to do stop motion animation or like to voice act, we have the perfect Discord server for you. Not only does everyone give each other a bunch of animation tips and mechabricks tips, we also post these cool collabs that you might have seen. So make sure to hit that link in the description to join our community. Now let's talk about Drix's hat. In the show, Drix's hat is comically oversized. If you look at the minifigure, the hat's diameter is basically the same length as the armor piece, which is not even close to how it looks in the show. So I scaled up the edges of the conical hat in Blender and printed it out, and honestly, it worked really well. The larger version looks way more accurate and fits nicely on the figure. What do you think of Drix's new hat? Comment down below if you think that this is better than the original. This is so weird, but you know what? I guess it works. It looks so big. Wow. Speaking of the Forbidden 5 hats that need fixing, let's talk about Zarkt. LEGO actually made a brand new mold for this hat, and somehow they still got it wrong. I don't know how, because Zarkt's hat maybe is more fragile in the show or like something like that. But instead of giving him the accurate version, they gave us this weird mishmash of Angry Birds and a trash can looking thing. So yeah, I tried to 3D print my own version. My first try came out a bit too small and barely fit on the figure. Then on the second try, the print ended up with a ton of support material stuck inside the hat, which made it completely unusable. Looking back though, the first version wasn't that bad and Zarkt could kind of wear it. So I decided to take some sticky tack, take some pliers, widen the hole a bit, throw in the sticky tack, and then put in Zarkt's hat. And you know what? It does kind of fit. I guess it's just passable, but definitely not perfect. I just didn't have enough time to redo the whole thing for this video, so yeah, we're gonna have to roll with it on this one. But comment down below if you want me to redo this one in another video. And thank you so much to LEGO Closet for providing me with the model for this video. I would not have been able to do this without him. The next thing I wanted to 3D print were the Forbidden 5 weapons. Now the ones that come in the LEGO sets are really cool, but they're kind of inaccurate and honestly just don't look great. I tried to make some custom versions myself, and while my custom Drix weapon does look better than the official one, it's not exactly accurate either. Luckily, my friend DVQ Jackson made 3D models of the Forbidden 5 weapons in LEGO form, so I printed those instead, and now we've got a full set. First up, we've got Nox Blade, and this thing has a super thin blade, so it's like insanely fragile. I should have thought about that before I printed it, but well, I didn't, and somehow it's still holding up, so I guess that's good. And I don't think it looks terrible, in fact, pretty good, and much better than the set version. Next up, we have Rox's blade. I think this blade looks really cool. It looks a lot like Lloyd's blade and is really similar to what we see in the show. It is also way less fragile than Nox. Now onto Cursed Scythe. As the Elemental Master of Decay, this LEGO version of the scythe just does not look as show accurate as the show version. The 3D printed one though, it is much better in shape and design. I think it fits Kerr's character way better overall. As for Zarkt's flail, I tried to make an accurate one, but that didn't exactly work out. It ended up breaking because of all the support material and I just couldn't save it. Lastly, we had Drix's sickle weapons. These actually broke after I printed them for the first time because the connection points were too weak, so I had to glue them back together. They're still a little fragile, but visually, I think they look a lot better than the actual LEGO weapons. And they do look show accurate too, so that's great. Comment down what your favorite weapon was in this video and what weapons we should print next time. Now onto something a little different. I want to print Mr. Frohicky's head. In the Ninjago show, we've seen a ton of side characters, but we're still missing a bunch in minifigure form. One of the most iconic has to be Alfonso Frohicky, the keeper of the monastery. This man is the actual GOAT. He works non-stop to keep the monastery running, even if it means he gets denied rewards for it.
It zip flies.
I actually designed a minifigure of him in my custom CMF video, and to bring to life, all I needed to do was 3D print his head. The model was made by my friend Gardy, who did an absolutely fantastic job. But when I printed it, yeah, it was a little cooked. The top of Mr. Frohicky's mouth just didn't show up, and the hole that was supposed to attach to the torso was filled with random filament. I tried using pliers to clean it out, but that didn't work. The first print was a fail, so I went in for a second attempt. Made a few small tweaks to the model, and this one was almost perfect. The sculpt came out great, the hole was just the right size, and the head looked super accurate. But again, there was some leftover filament clogging the inside, and I couldn't get it to fit on a minifigure torso. Still, I'm really close, and once I get a cleared print, we're going to have a full Frohicky minifigure, and it will be amazing. At the end of Dragons Rising Season 2, after stopping Braz's plan at the Tournament of Sources, the Source Dragon in Motion awarded Lloyd with her dragon icon. This is a huge deal. It's literally a Source Dragon icon, which means it probably is going to be very important in Season 3 Part 2. You'd think LEGO would have already made this piece, but they didn't. So I decided I was going to make one myself. I started with a simple model, a clean blade sticking out, a basic sword guard, and a handle, and after one 3D print, here is what I got. Unfortunately, the handle was way too small and ended up falling off entirely, but the rest of the blade actually came out pretty solid, and the size is accurate to the show, and the guard detail looks really good. I tried printing it again, hoping to fix the handle, and it broke again in the same exact spot. So instead, I grabbed a regular LEGO handle piece, glued it onto what was left, and boom, now we've got a working Source Dragon icon. It's not perfect, but it definitely gets the job done. Little update, I was actually able to paint it completely red, so now it is completely accurate to the show. Next up, I want to make Roz's hammer, the Source Dragon of Strengths icon. This is one of the most important weapons in the Dragons Rising show since it's been around since the very first episode. I had a basic custom version I made earlier with LEGO, but it just isn't as good as a real 3D print would be, so I printed a proper version. Huge thanks to my friend Arda for making this model. The print mostly failed though, the handle broke off completely, and all I had left was a top hammer piece. So I got creative. I glued the hammer head onto a LEGO stud and placed that on top of a bar piece, and honestly, I think this looks great. It's absolutely giant, but that just makes it look even more epic. And now we officially have both of the Source Dragon icons from Dragons Rising. Now speaking of Roz, in the new trailer for Dragons Rising Season 3 Part 2, Roz shows up wearing this special bone armor and it looks amazing. My friend Jack actually modeled the armor for him in the trailer, and I 3D printed it, and yeah, this thing came out perfect. It looks just like the armor from the show. For the helmet, I think it's the same one used by the Skull King, so I scaled up that model to fit Roz's head. Sadly, I'm not skilled enough to make a white clay skull and put that on his head, and with that, the new Roz figure is done. This minifigure is absolutely peak. I cannot wait to see what Roz actually does in the show, especially since he's seen holding another blade in the trailer. Could it be a third Source Dragon icon? We'll have to wait and find out when the season drops in September. Next up, we're making a Dragonian minifigure more accurate. See, in the show, none of the Dragonian designs matched their LEGO set versions. Originally, they had more of a villager style look before they were corrupted by the Forbidden Five. They also had tails and wings, which the sets just completely skipped over. To fix that, my friend Drix sent me a file with 3D models for both the wings and the tail. The tail is the red version of the classic Avatar tail piece, and the wings are similar to the ones from the Dragon Suit guy in the CMF Series 18. And honestly, these pieces do look a lot more accurate to the show. That said, I don't think I necessarily like them more than the set versions. The inaccurate versions from the LEGO sets still look a lot cooler to me, and at least those have some wing functionality. You can flap them, pose them, and do all sorts of stuff, and that's just super fun. So overall, I think it's cool to have this more show accurate version, but I like the LEGO version a bit more play-wise. Now let's talk about Bonzle. Bonzle was super important in Dragons Rising Season 2. She was literally the spell that locked away the Forbidden Five, which is a big deal. But for some reason, LEGO just never gave us a minifigure of her. So I took it into my own hands. I started by getting a regular skeleton body, cut out a little rectangular paper jacket to match her robes from the show, and then I wrapped it around her torso, and it actually looked really close to the on-screen version. For the head, I 3D printed a custom skull and hat combo, then painted it myself, and this one came out great. Definitely one of the more successful prints. Now we finally have a Bonzle minifigure, and yes, we can accurately trap her in a box now too. Next up, the MEGAWEAPON. The MEGAWEAPON is one of the most iconic items in Ninjago. Introduced way back in Season 1, it has the weapon Garmadon used to carry out some of his most evil schemes. It basically is a fusion of Kai, Jay, Cole, and Zane's golden weapons. But the thing is, while LEGO made the golden weapons really well, the MEGAWEAPON has never gotten a proper mold. You could build it out of something that sort of looks like it, but nothing out of there really just captures how it looked in the show. So I turned to a much better solution, a 3D model by Drix, who you definitely should check out. I used this file and printed it, and this thing came out awesome. I've wanted this since I was a kid. Watching Garmadon use the MEGAWEAPON in the show was peak. Now I finally have it in LEGO form, and wow, this is really cool. And that is a wrap for this video. It was a lot of fun to do, so I hope you guys really liked it. And yeah, that's it. Bye.